What's up, guys, and welcome to the 5th episode of CM Radio. This is my weekly podcast that I try to upload on a weekly basis.
Would help with being a weekly podcast.
Today we're covering a topic of university, and I'm joined here with my good friend Tobyn.
Hello.
Who was in university, who dropped out.
For 6 whole months, ladies and gentlemen.
6 whole months. And we're just going to talk about whether his decision was a good decision, how he feels about it, and whether dropping out of university was a mistake or set you on the path to your dreams. Now, as always, you can either listen to this on SoundCloud on Saturday at 5 p.m, or if you like watching your podcast, you can head on over to my YouTube channel and check it out at 6 p.m. on Monday, where it will be uploaded. So, Tobyn, do you just want to chat a little bit of shit about yourself?
So I went to uni for a grand total of
What uni?
6 months. A uni not in Portsmouth.
He can't say the name of it. He's been taking tips from William Allen.
It wasn't positive. I went to uni to study music, brackets, classical music. We'll get onto that later. Did it for 6 months, moved away, and after 6 months, I'll go into it a bit more in a bit, but wasn't for me. Dropped out, was expensive to drop out, and now I'm here.
So, the first question I have for you, I've got a few questions to ask you about it. So, the first one is really, what made you want to leave? What forced you to drop out of uni? Was it just the wrong course? Or whether it's just, like, you didn't like living out there, or whether the uni lifestyle wasn't for you?
So, it was a mixture of everything. I mean, before I explain, like, why I went out of uni, I have to explain what was like going in there. So, I did 3 years of college and then took a gap year and then went to uni. So, when I went to uni, I think I was 20, and I was going to uni starting off with a bunch of 18-year-olds who had not really experienced the clubbing lifestyle, whereas I had 2 years on them. So, I was already like, yeah, I've done this. There's like not really anything new for me. So straight away that was a bit of a put off because it was just like long nights of like listening to the same fucking Oasis track in pre-drinks and
Today gonna be the day.
But it like the first couple of weeks of it was fun, but then it's over and over again, and that aspect of it wasn't for me.
What were your roommates like?
Well, I lived in a house about 53 people. Big house, and
I'll get fed up at living with 4 people.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and
let alone 53.
I mean, like, the facilities weren't fantastic, and my luck, right? So 53 rooms, and I managed to get the smallest room out of the entire house. And when I say small, I mean like it was small. So straight away that put my sort of like happiness down. You had to share a kitchen between 6 other people, and a cubicle of a shower between 6 other people. It wasn't great. And
A shower between 6 of you?
Yeah, like, I mean,
damn.
Like the rent that you were paying, like I pay less rent living here than I did to live in 1 bedroom in that house.
That's uni for you though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was shocking. So yeah, I did music, like I said earlier, and the reason that I dropped out is because it took me 6 months to realise that it was a classical music course.
Not what they advertised.
Not what they advertised. They advertised it as music. I auditioned with a rock song, so straight away that sort of just like indicates what sort of thing. I say I auditioned with a rock song. What happened? I don't think I've ever explained this. My audition, I did my audition, but I started it and I forgot to tune my guitar. So I did it.
It's like the Thatcher's fucking bar gig all over again.
And then I stopped I literally stopped my audition a minute in and said, "Does anyone have a guitar tuner, please? I need to tune my guitar." So everyone's watching me tune this guitar, and then I started it again. And
how many people did you do audition in front of? Was it classes or?
It was about 12 to 15 people or something like that.
Or just teachers or faculty?
No, like people who wanted to also audition. And I swear you didn't even need to audition because my audition was awful.
What song did you do?
I did an Angels and Airways song, The
What one?
Adventure.
Oh, cool.
But like the amp they gave you was like this tiny little like the song requires delay and all this sort of stuff, and they just give you like this little Fender box standard thing, and I had to play it on like this weird clean tone. It just sounded awful. But they accepted me in, which sort of just makes me feel like they were taking anybody. And I asked about like obviously doing more rock sided stuff, and they were like, yeah, we'll do that. they didn't the first semester, not at all. And then the second semester, he was like, look, I promise we'll add some rock things in. And the way they did that was that one of my essay questions got to be about the Beatles. That was their rock incorporation.
Just one question about
like,
it.
you can have either a Beethoven question, a Beatles question, or a Spice Girls question.
So they asked you what question you wanted in your exam.
Yeah, they were just like, which one do you want? And then you can do that for your essay. That's
Fair enough.
Pretty lenient with
I'll have the
uni.
easier one, thank you.
So yeah, eventually then I dropped out. I mean, another one of the reasons why I dropped out was because I went with one of my close mates, Gizmacher Chris Holland.
He was on here last week.
I did the thing with him, so straight away we were like sort of latched onto each other. So that made making friends a little bit harder when you have this little untalkative blob just following you around everywhere. Like a dog with 3 legs that you don't want to put down because you feel so sorry for it, but you don't want to show it off because it's a dog with 3 legs.
Oh, Gizmacher. Ah, poor bastard. So what was, because I never experienced uni, and I've experienced nights out, and I've been in uni halls, but just not been to your uni.
Okay.
What was the most memorable experience that you had there? The most enjoyable one?
Enjoyable experience.
Now, gathering from what you said, this is going to be fucking hard to think of.
Yeah, because can't you tell it was a positive experience?
Also, there's no swearing on this podcast.
No swearing.
So you better shut your fucking mouth.
Positive experience. I would say probably the most positive experience of the whole thing was, I don't want to say getting to leave because that's quite bad. No. Right, so the first couple of weeks, every Thursday night, they had like a karaoke night, which straight away was sick because karaoke's dope.
Right.
And I think the first 2 or 3 weeks, everyone was doing like Smash Mouth All Star, and like it was funny back then.
But then the novelty wore
and then
off.
it was like 9-10 weeks in, and they were still doing the same song. But there was a particular person who would always high kick and like go like, you know when you go to like a metal gig and they're like crowd killing and the high kicking.
Yeah.
And, like she would always do it to the karaoke instrumental track of All Star and Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Like whoever sang it, she'd just be there in the front, just like high kicking and swing fisted, like really like getting into it. And that's probably why I stayed for 6 months, because I could have easily dropped out at 3. But that sort of energy just kept me going.
Was it a tough decision deciding to drop out?
Yes, and an expensive decision.
Expensive.
Yeah, so essentially how your student loans work, so you get one like at the beginning, and then you get one in the middle, and you get one towards the end. And I got my middle one, which is meant to last you from January to April, but I dropped off in February, so they're like, well, you owe us February to April's of what we gave you.
Did you have to pay it back?
Yeah, I had to pay it back.
How much was it?
That was 1,400. I had to pay back over installments. I just paid it all off straight away.
Fuck me. Jesus Christ.
That was not a fun decision. And obviously just because of like the whole like, I had a job up there, which was sick. I loved my job up there.
Yeah.
And obviously you've moved out and then you have to move back in with your parents, and it's like that. I've been I've been like sort of defeated sort of thing. So the decision there was really, really hard, and I would go back to uni if I wasn't in the position I was in now, where it's physically not possible for me to go to uni.
Fuck this podcast up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because that was my question for later on.
Would I go back to uni?
That was going to be one of my last ones.
Yes, I would.
Forget about that. Forget about that. But you touched on your parents. How did your parents feel about you dropping out and coming back home?
At first, they were like, they didn't want me to do it at first. No. They were like, just hold off till the end of the year. Just because that way, if you drop out at the end of the year, you don't have to pay anything back straight away. Which, in hindsight, I wish I did. Yeah. I wish I just waited. But then, on the other hand, then I wouldn't have the job that I have now.
Yeah.
If I waited that extra.
Do you think it worked out a little bit better for you, despite the fact that you had to pay a lot of money off?
Yeah, like it worked out because obviously it didn't take me long to move out again. And I'm moving out again next month, and with my getting to my own complete own place, which I might not have been able to do if I stayed that extra time. So I'm glad that I did it.
Would you still be there now?
No. So I dropped out in February. My parents advised me to drop out in like May,
Okay, yeah.
just so like wait, I can finish it all, at least get something for the first year,
Yeah.
and then leave. But I was just like,
No.
nah,
No.
I couldn't do it.
What was it like? Because whenever I hear stories about this, is people fucking dread it. They hate it. Going to a course they don't like or doing a course they don't like. How was it for you on a day-to-day basis having to do something you weren't interested in? Like, how did you deal with actually just coping
going
with
through
that?
it.
Do you reckon you would have coped with it in the long run?
Well, yeah, because like the thing is, even though it was a course that wasn't for me, I was doing really well marks wise and essay wise. Like I think the lowest mark I got on anything was a 2-2. If I don't know if you know what a 2-2 is, but essentially,
is it a 2 next to a 2?
it's a 2 next to a 2. It's like the third lowest mark you can get.
Okay.
Which is essentially that was like the lowest thing I got. So I was ranging on the 2-1s for the subject that I didn't like.
Did that not give you incentive to just carry on then?
It did. It was like, hey, I can blag this.
Yeah.
But I was able to do the essays, but I wasn't learning anything.
No.
So I'd go in, because I'm a self-taught musician, so I've never learned the theory side behind it, and that's what I was hoping to learn. But I was going into the course with people who already knew the theory, and with the teachers teaching as if you all knew the theory.
So yeah, you just...
Yeah, I wasn't up to the standards. So, and there was no way for me to... I mean, there was obviously me... I could just, like, have my own little YouTube tutorials and catch up, but I was like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to be taught it. If I was just going to learn through a video, there's no point in me paying $9,000 a year.
Yeah, just when you can go... But that, I've always said that as well. Like,
yeah.
You can learn... with everything. Obviously, you can't get a qualification in it, but... Like,
yeah, so, like, the certain... Like, in hindsight, certain things, certain subjects, like teaching and medicine, I would say go to uni, because you don't have a choice. Like, you just can't get into that industry without having that qualification. But stuff like music and
personal training, that's an easy one. You can do a 3-day course and be a qualified personal trainer.
Anything within the creative arts, I personally don't think that university is a mandatory option.
No.
Which is, I think it's an interesting discussion, because some people go to uni for the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which I understand. It's a lot of money to pay just for the
yeah.
lifestyle.
you can go into $9,000 worth of debt outside of university and have a lot funner time. Spend that money a lot more efficiently.
A lot funner time. Maybe $9,000 a year would teach you how to use grammatical sentences.
I got the same grade as you in English.
Yeah, you did. So. Yeah,
and I wrote my exam about paedophiles.
Which is another reason why I think university was taking anyone, because my audition was awful.
Yeah.
But Chris, he doesn't have a GCSE above a C grade in English. He still doesn't, I don't believe. And the university said he had to have one before he got accepted into uni. And he went out, got drunk, turned up to his exam hungover, failed it, and he still got let on.
Fuck's sake.
So I don't even feel like they would...
He's in his third year now, isn't he?
He isn't. No, he's about to start it.
Maybe I should get him back on and talk to him about how his uni life is going, whether he thinks there's some mistakes staying.
Well, he was going to leave.
Yeah?
So before I left, I looked into going to another uni.
Yeah.
Which I can say. So, yeah, I was going to look to go to Southampton University, which is, like, regarded...
Where's that?
Where's that?
Yeah.
It's in Southampton.
Oh.
Right. Which is regarded as a really, really, really good university for music. And then in the end, I just decided not to, which I do regret. Like, a part of me does regret not going to a different uni, because I'm just not in a position to do it now. But
no, do you know? Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, like
moving out, working full-time job. It wouldn't. Would you? Yeah, financially,
I wouldn't be able to do the role in which I'm doing now.
No,
I'd have to either step down or get another job. Which...
So, what is it you wanted to do? Like with just a studio musician?
What my goal, like, I knew that going to uni and doing 3 years in music wasn't going to give me a degree at the end, which means I can go on Indeed or Monster and apply for be a musician job. What I was hoping to do in those 3 years is meet like-minded people, form a band, and go down that route. I never wanted to just go into a musical job, but the problem I found is that the people around me, although were talented musicians, like really talented,
fucking lazy.
No, they were in the wrong genre.
Okay.
So they were all violinists or pianists, or they played instruments that I needed a bass. I needed a drummer. I didn't need all these classical instruments, which are great, but not
helpful in your
not
genre of
helpful
music.
for what I want to do.
What you wanted. No, damn.
Oh well.
Live and you learn.
Live and you learn after thousands of pounds of debt, which is another thing. Obviously, I was there for 6 months, but now I'm starting to pay back my student loan now because I apparently earn over a certain threshold, and because of those 6 months, I'm in £8,000 worth of debt.
Jesus Christ!
Which,
just for 6 months.
Just for 6 months and dropping out. So
that just shows how expensive university is.
It is, and it's only going up. I know it's gone up to 9,250 now, and part of me thinks with obviously how the system works, I think it's a little bit flawed.
Yeah.
The way the loan system is given out is dumb. It's stupidly dumb. And the fact that people aren't repaying it because they don't earn over a certain threshold.
Isn't that like if you don't earn over £22,000, you don't have to pay any of your student debt back?
Pay it back, and then after 30 years, it's wiped.
Cancelled, yeah.
Which makes, because it's not being paid back, it makes the cost go up. So if you want to go to uni next year or the year after, there's probably going to be a time where uni tuition fees hit 10 grand a year, which I can tell you now, for the quality that I got, which is essentially free 2-hour lessons a week. It's just through PowerPoint.
It's just not worth it.
It's not worth the money at all. But people do it because I feel like people do it because they feel like they need to, and I just want to make it clear. Depending on your profession,
you don't.
You don't.
No.
Like medical, teaching, yeah, you do. But anything else, I would argue that there's probably a route in which you don't need to go to uni. If you're going to uni just to hopefully make friends and do the lifestyle, that's great. But it is a lot more than just that. I think if you're going to uni in the local area, so if I was to go to uni in Portsmouth, it'd be different. But if me travelling to another city where I didn't know and I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it,
it's not a great feeling. I can imagine.
No.
So what are you doing now that obviously, so you still want to do the whole band thing?
Yeah. So the position I'm in at the moment, in this particular financial situation, it's a little hard to do what I want to do.
Right.
Especially because of the stupid amount of finance payments I keep making on certain things. But what I am aiming to do, because I'm moving out next month, I can move out in an environment which is a bit more productive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping that sort of productive environment will push me on to do more self-made stuff, because essentially that's the route I have to go down now. Problem with working full-time, it's hard to meet other people who want to do music and having the spare time to do it with them. The other thing is, as a guitarist, it's really hard to find a bassist and a drummer.
Yep. No one wants to play bass.
No one wants to play bass.
And no one plays fucking drums.
Or if they do play drums, they don't own a drum kit. And if they do own a drum kit, they don't own a car, which means they can't bring it around anywhere. And if they have both of those things, they probably don't have a job, which means they don't have a rehearsal studio, money, which is really, really frustrating, because bass and drums are great, but no one in this city wants to play them, it seems. So it has to be all self-done at the moment, but that's what I'm hoping to do when I next move out.
Maybe that's what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Obviously, just record everything yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can get... I don't know how the electronic drum kits work that, like, Nevada sell.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you can plug them straight into an audio box and play, and it will...
Yeah, you can. Or you can use stuff like, your Fruity Loops and your stuff like that, which has just the beats, and you can just layer
change
them
it
down.
yourself. I remember that's what I used to do.
That's probably the route I would go down, just because electronic drum kits are so expensive.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. How much was the old one that you used to have?
Jeez, I was, about 15?
Yeah.
That's probably... couldn't have been that much. It must have been like £300, £400.
What about Max's friend? He has a drum kit.
That's true.
You don't talk to Max, but you talk to his friend.
I'll hit you up after this podcast.
Mate, he's never on social media. When's he going to listen to it?
That's true. I was talking about Max's friends, not Max. # Max is dead.
Hashtag RIP Max and Fergus. Fergus was good. Fergus was fun.
Fergus was more consistent than I was.
Yeah, he was. So we tried this whole band thing before, didn't we?
Yes.
And I was the bassist.
We had a cult following, I'd say.
Of
us.
us.
We were well, I wouldn't say we were well liked, but we definitely well listened to.
We were well known.
We were well listened to by other people who attended the same college as us.
Yeah.
And even if it was ironic, every listen counts. I don't care if it's ironic or unironic. It's 0.001 penny in my pocket.
Ironic or unironic.
I have a speech
Maybe
impediment.
£9 would do you well, sir. That came around, didn't it?
So we did try the band thing back in the day, which
I'd
was
do it
sick.
again. I'd
yeah,
do it again.
That
I
was,
want to make music again.
That was like sick. Like that whole like year of, and it's so annoying it never got finished.
But this is the thing, right? So we're moving out next month.
Yes.
Into
a house. What were you trying to think of?
I don't know. I thought back in the story of how my teacher told me how a bungalow was made. They built half house and just went bungalow roof on it.
So we're moving into a house.
Yeah, and we got a dining room as a spare room.
I was gonna say, I thought you were just gonna end it there. We've got a dining room. Yeah, bitch.
And we got a dining. Obviously, I'm having an office.
Obviously.
We got a dining room. We're having that as a games room.
That's true.
But it all depends.
Could turn the kitchen into a musician room. Do we need a garden?
Who needs a cooker?
That's true. Who needs a cooker? Microwave all the way.
Yeah, like
I'm sure
lasagna meals from Tesco's.
I'm sure if you put the tumble dryer hot enough, we could
Cook some chicken.
I wouldn't say chicken. We could definitely cook a couple of pieces of pasta.
What about if I try and season it and then seasoning gets on the clothes?
I would say if you're cooking through a tumble dryer, why would you put clothes in it?
Why
would you put clothes in the tumble dryer with the food?
No, after.
After?
Are we going to clean it after?
Of course we're going to clean it after. Okay. Why would we not clean it after?
Because
we're using a tumble dryer for foods. True.
But like I said, like I've been wanting to make music again for a while.
Yeah, it's like, it's not so much finding the motivation, because I had the motivation. It's finding the ability to do it.
It's finding the time and everything.
Yeah,
because it takes a while. One thing I realised when we used to do it is that it's not just like, obviously there were songs that we made together, and then there were songs that we made separately.
Yeah.
So Up and Lights was
Best
one of
song on
our
the EP.
songs. Was the best song on the EP.
Thank you.
But again, it was split into, we all made that together, and then we split the lyrics into two halves. Me and you wrote the second verse, the second verse and the bridge, and they wrote the chorus and the verse.
Yeah.
But then you've got songs like Chris's song, fucking Unrequited, where it was kind of made all together.
Well, Unrequited,
but it was just a rip off of fucking song.
Unrequited, that's famous song. Chris wrote the instrumentals for, and then me and Max wrote the lyrics for. You literally had no input into that song,
whatsoever.
Which was probably why it
Hold
was
up, I don't know.
No, I don't think you had any input.
No. I think at some point during the recording, I said something in the recording which was funny.
Yes, yeah. So the bit towards the end of Unrequited,
I did, yeah. So I was involved.
You have one creative musical element into it.
Yeah.
And then Upper Lights all had a hand in it. Deceptive Queen was just Chris's song that we just redid for ourselves, and Teenage Curse was just Chris's version.
No, we had Fucked Up Kids. We all came out of that.
Yeah,
we had MAC.
MAC was a great song. I wonder who it was about.
Which then got changed to I don't know then
Pensive Violence Opus. Chris's name.
I was going to say Pensive Opus Violence.
And what was the other song? Teenage Curse was essentially just Chris's
song.
opportunity to try and show off in front of Max.
Yeah, because he sung.
He was the lead vocalist.
He was
our lead vocalist got put to a backing vocalist on the song, which was fucking
dumb.
dumb.
Do you blame him?
No, 100%. No, it was nice to hear a song in the key. I remember when we were recording, and Max, our vocalist, was like,
"You can't outright name him."
I am Max, because if you're watching this, you were fucking awful and you're a terrible person. It was like, oh, I can either sit. See, what you should do is the last minute of this podcast, you should just put fucking music over, have us talking, and have it speeding through with music. Because this whole last minute has just been bad. It's just me calling out Max and you doing that.
I can't because I can't do that in the podcast, so people will think it's broken. My SoundCloud's done.
This is meant to be about university, and we're just slating shade at people.
Yeah, but mine and Dave's podcast was meant to be about self
Insecurities and stuff like that.
Insecurities, self-confidence, and we talked about planning a gym session together. So what I like about podcasts, that you can have this sort of discussion.
Goes on a terrible tangent.
Like, yeah, like this is one thing I love, because you can learn from it, and this will also give other people ideas.
Yeah.
But I am thinking we can either turn that dining room into a games room or a music room.
I'd be more interested in a music room than a games room.
I would be as well, because we can just set a games room up in our bedrooms.
Yeah, or the living room.
Yeah.
We're never going to sit down and like each other in front of a room.
Nah, we won't.
Nah.
That's a good shout.
Tell you what, we should do more podcasts on actual disagreements, because that's what the people want. They want us arguing. They want us screaming down these mics.
Do you want controversy? But no, I'm down for doing that. That would be really fun.
Hey, look at that. We established a plan on a podcast.
But it would just be about, obviously, it's going to take a lot of structure, I reckon.
Yeah.
Depends, is Chris going to be involved?
Depends.
Because if you say no, who the fuck are you going to get to sing?
Well, if we make music that makes people want to die, then yeah, I'm up for having Chris on it. But if we're making music...
No, we don't need to let him write the lyrics.
That's true.
He sings.
That's true. Yeah, if we write the lyrics, he can sing, because I'm not having his lyrics on it. I remember when you saw Unrequired, he wrote it and he sent us,
yeah.
And he was like,
oh my god, that song was dark beforehand.
He was like, I've got some lyrics already. It's not a sad song, and he sent them over, and they were like the most fucking miserable lyrics I've ever read.
I swear at some point he said he wanted to die. And
it was like he talked about death and like how he hated like life and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, it's my happy song. This is a song that makes me smile.
I really want to know what his depressive song was.
Jesus Christ.
He's improved over the last few months, but years.
He hasn't released anything in the last few months. He had that one song.
But the really boring one.
Yeah, the really awful one.
The one that was just the same chord progression over and over again.
It was so bad. Other songs were good though. I remember, so in uni there was a point in time when me and him were in a little bit of a duo. Yeah. And by that I mean he did every single instrument, and when I asked to put some creative input in, he didn't let me, but he just said I was in it.
I can't imagine Chris saying no.
We didn't like say no. He would just be like, so an example was he went, come up to my room and we'll do some music.
Can I stop you there? Ooh. I'm gonna know what I know what happens next. Did he just sit there and do nothing?
Yeah, he sat there.
Because we did the exact same thing when we went to record a different version of Wade Away, and we were around Chris's, right? Twice. We went, let's record a song tonight. He went, yeah. He did. I went, Chris, there's your guitar. I'm gonna play a few chords. Play shit over it. He didn't.
He doesn't do anything, does he?
And then I went, do some backing vocals for Wade Away, and he did. And then my laptop crashed and I didn't have it.
I went up to his room. I went, are we going to record something? And then he just ordered a Domino's. And that was it.
I'd fucking kill for a Domino's right now.
I would, but I'm going to be good. Diet starts tomorrow.
You said that last Tuesday because you went, it's 2 for... No, you said that Tuesday because you went, it's 2 for Tuesday.
I didn't have it. What, the Tuesday that just went past?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have 2 for Tuesday. I was good.
But the diet started yesterday. Today?
Diet started today.
How's it going?
It's going great.
I bet those Lindals really fit your macros earlier, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, there was only like 4. What's that? It's nothing. Those 4 Linds were probably like more calories than you've had today.
4 calories?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, I'm down for doing that. We'll talk more about that off the podcast. We don't want these gremlins stealing our ideas.
What's the next question?
Oh, okay.
I forgot you had 5 questions here.
We're already up to half hour. And
an hour?
You went, it's going to be a very short podcast.
Jesus Christ. I want to beat, what? Chris was 41 minutes, I believe.
Chris was 41 minutes. My first one, I think, was 45 on my own.
We can beat 45.
I don't even know what I talked about in my first one.
That's good. It's a memorable one then, isn't it? Think about it. Thinking about it. Didn't you talk about gym myths and stuff like that?
No, that
Do you not?
that was a 5 Fridays video.
Oh, of course, it was.
No, shit, no, I talked about things that I wanted to know going into fitness.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you are new to fitness and you want to know some pointers that you may not know, you may want to know, which I think would be helpful, check out my first podcast. So the next question I got for you, mate.
You plugging yourself
No.
on your own channel.
Is, so what did you do to prepare leaving uni? So obviously, you left, well, no, you didn't leave. You decided you were going to leave, told your parents. What was the process? Because I know you got a job relatively quickly down here.
Yeah.
But how did you sort out seeing? Obviously, Chris was still up in Chichester. He's down now.
Yeah.
But
through that period of time so if I dropped out in February and let's say Chris finished his year 1 in May,
Yeah.
I think throughout that first period I didn't see him.
No.
Unless it was for gigs, didn't see him. Which so we literally saw each other every single day to then just gone.
Was that a bit weird?
It was a bit weird.
I bet you didn't even notice because he's so quiet.
Yeah,
anyway.
I didn't miss a lot of conversation because the guy doesn't talk. But preparing to leave, leaving uni is an ache. The amount of phone calls you have to make and the amount of people you have to speak to because they're all just trying to get you to stay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you first say, "Oh, I want to leave," they'll sort of just try to say, "No, have you spoken to someone?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've spoken to it. I've made up my mind." And they're they give you a form, and then after you've handed the form in, they're still a bit "Are you sure?" Because that form isn't it. That form just gets sent off to someone else, who then you have to go speak to them, who are still "You sure you want to leave?" They want you to stay, which I assume is because they want you to, but also because
Money.
it's $9,000 a year. Why would you not want to keep that?
Exactly.
And then the other bit was leaving my job I had up there, which was that bit was the hardest. What I realized was when leaving my job was more upsetting than leaving uni.
You
That's
kind
when I
of
was
knew you didn't enjoy uni.
I need to leave uni.
Yeah.
Because I'm not paying $9,000 a year to go to work. And that whole job, the job hunt bit was the bit I'm really incredibly lucky for, because most people when they leave uni, it takes a while to find a job. I was quite lucky. I think I dropped out February 17th, went and applied for a job on February 18th, got an interview February 19th and got the job the same day. And I've still got that job now, and I've been there for about 13-14 months. So in that sense, I was really, really lucky. I don't know if I got a job that quickly, if I'd still be in a financial position that I am now.
Time flies.
Yeah, mate. If I think about this time last year, I was still at work, not even at uni. It's mad.
I'm just gonna say most of these questions are genuine questions because I wasn't there throughout the first uni process.
Yeah, we did not talk about uni.
No, we didn't.
God, take me back.
Take me back to the days before this was a job.
Before I got
paid. Do you know the rest? Before I ever met her, what was in my bed?
I don't even know what song that is.
It's
B.O.B, innit?
Yeah, Billionaire, I think it is. So the rap part.
The rap part.
The rap part. Yeah, so this stuff's in for me because I don't know about this stuff either.
Uni is, for anyone who's debating going to uni, I would think about whether it's beneficial for yourself. I'd recommend it. I wish there was a thing called a uni trial. I believe if you go to uni, you can drop out within the first 2 weeks and not pay anything back.
I think that it is going to be down to what you said. Some stuff you genuinely don't need to go to university for. My career, I want to be personal trainer, and successful one.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my qualification. I don't need to go to uni, but I can do a level 4 advanced diploma in sports exercise, sports nutrition, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I paid £1,200 to do a level 4 advanced diploma in sports nutrition and exercise online, and I did that.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I would have learned in college. But then again, most of that stuff, even with music, say if you forgot the theory part out and you went to university to learn about different like methods of recording, like what the microphones were for, how to set up a drum mic to actually record a full set, or how to record a live band. You can do this stuff through YouTube for absolutely free. Like you said, unless you want to go into some form of teaching, medicine, or like architecture or stuff like that, where you kind of need it. Acting, I would kind of say maybe you need to, just because you'll get a placement in kind of one of those well-established areas.
Yeah, but then I would also argue, because my brother does I don't know, if I say acting, he might get offended, but he does a drama-orientated subject. And I know the logic of going to uni because you learn and because it can put you into good places afterwards. But what I would say to that, and is what I'd say to music as well, is that those 3 years, you're with other people who are going to be on the equal level to you now. Whereas in those other 3 years, if you weren't at uni, you have a 3-year head start, in my opinion, of going to jobs.
Yeah.
So, like, I personally think when it comes to art, comes to music, comes to drama, unless you're going in for teaching, like if you're going to be a teacher in one of those, then go to uni. But if you're not, then you should be doing learning while freelancing. Freelancing is like the key point for me.
Yeah.
Personally, it's something that you should be doing if you're in those creative industries, because having hands-on experience, having a hands-on portfolio is much better for a degree.
What do you think about our friend Nathan?
Yes, yeah.
How he done his college degree for videography and
Mhm.
photography, and that was it. He got a good place. Well, I say a good placement, a nice bit of dollar.
Yeah, he got a grant
and there because he did good, and now he's gone freelance, and I think he's moved into his own office now.
Yeah.
So yeah, freelance works. Especially
you don't learn that through university.
No, you don't. And I reckon, again, sort of music or acting, like with acting as well, you could $9,000 a year. Think of the recording equipment, or the stages you could hire out, or the sort of people you could bring together and pay to perform your own shows.
Yeah.
And if they're good, then your content's going to show that. Whereas if it's shit, going into university, you can write a shit song.
Yeah.
And be in uni, you'll get a placement at the end of it, hypothetically, but your music's still shit. You could spend $9,000 perfecting your sound, how to record, everything, and have better quality music and a better understanding of it, and you'll be in a much better position than someone. Because they're not going to give a shit because you aren't good.
Yeah, but what I'd argue there is just like, so obviously if I stuck out with uni, let's use me and Chris as an example, and there was one job going in a musical thing. We've both been to uni, we're both now on an equal level, and we're both applying for that job. Whereas if one of us didn't go to uni, we have 3 years to build up a portfolio on what we want to, because university's guided. University has a curriculum, which means if you want to learn a certain thing and you're thinking beneficial, unless it's in the curriculum, you're not going to have it.
Hence the music theory.
Yeah, I didn't want to learn. I wanted to learn music theory, sorry, but they were doing advanced levels. I needed the beginner's level. But what I also wanted to learn was how to record music, which is something they didn't offer at all. Like, that just wasn't a thing.
Do you still not know how to record music?
Not to the sufficient. Like, if you I could guided. I know enough to be able to know what to look for in terms of having like a video step-to-step instruction. But if you gave me all the stuff and said set it up, I wouldn't have a clue what to do.
Do you know what's really fucking scary about that?
What's that?
You don't know how to do that. You went to uni for music, and this is backing your point up.
Yeah.
I've never been to university for music, and your passion for music is a lot more than mine.
And you know how to do it.
I know how to do it.
Yeah. Like, that's what I wanted to learn. Like, one of the most upsetting things about uni was, like, there was a lesson called Technique for the Young Performer.
Yeah.
And I thought that meant technique for me, the young performer. Except what it was is how to teach young performers.
No way.
It was like how I could become a teacher, and I was like,
I don't want to know that.
I don't want to be. I remember everyone had to do like an icebreaker, like say, "Why are you here?" And I was with Chris, and Chris went up, and he didn't. He also was like me. He thought it was a developmental lesson, not a teaching lesson, and he literally just said, "If I know anyone, went, hi, my name's Chris, and I don't know why I'm here, to be honest."
No way, did he actually?
It was so fucking funny. And everyone thought he was joking because he was just said it because he's so monotone.
Yeah.
That was
Chris
a gag.
Monotone.
No, he just sat back down, looked right at me, and went, "We've gone to the wrong lesson." And we had to stick that one out because you can't leave them. If you drop out one lesson, you've got to make up for it.
Jesus. I think that kind of answers all my questions. The next one was, do do you regret dropping out of university?
Yes and no. I don't regret dropping out of the university that I went to, but I do regret not just going back to uni the year after and starting afresh in a different environment. I do regret that.
Yeah.
If I could go back, I'd drop out and just start again at another university. I'm not angry. I'm not saying the position I'm in now is upsetting, having a full-time job, because I like my job.
Yeah.
It's just you can always get a job, but you can't always go back to uni. You have people who do go back to uni after mid-20s and stuff like that, and I just don't see that being for me.
Yeah,
just because
27, 28 year olds. I know a few of there was someone at my old club and that I became quite good friends with that was 28 in uni. Nothing against it.
You can do it. But
I like you said, I couldn't imagine myself doing that.
I couldn't do it. Not if I want to be in the financial, especially if I want to live away from home and still be in a comfortable financial position to do it. I just don't think I'd be able to do it in university.
Because at that age, you are gonna have to he did live with 6 other people.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can barely stand living with 5 people.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice when it's just 3 of us.
Yeah.
In a house that's bigger than this, but I couldn't imagine having the lack of space. It would just do my nut in.
That's why I feel like my uni boat is sort of gone, which that's the most upsetting bit. Is I wish I could have just gone back and done it, but not angry in the position I'm in now. There's far worse positions. I know people who dropped out of uni and haven't got a job.
No, yeah, that's fucking
people who finished
crazy.
uni and don't have a job.
Yeah,
so
mad.
The fact that I'm got a job is.
But now I think
decent.
it's time to take note, take a look at what you want to do, how to get there.
Yeah, and the whole point is, if you want to go to uni, just do it. But I would say work out what is it you want to benefit from it, and think about whether you can achieve that through a cheaper method or not. If you just want to go, it is good experience to go, especially if you've never moved out before. If this is if you're going outside the city, that was the bit for me that was what made it appealing, is that I was going to live away
From Portsmouth. Yeah.
That side of it was cool. And that's probably one of the main benefits I got from it. But if you're wanting to go to uni and still live at home, and it's in the city in which you live in, so you're not learning any new city experiences or anything like that, I would consider approaching a different route, but choice is your choice.
You heard it from the man in the South. Now, like I said, I'm probably going to get Chris back on this podcast at some point. I actually do want to do another podcast with him about his weight loss journey, but only when he hits a certain milestone. But I think I'm going to get him on, see how he's finding uni, see what his views are. I think it'd be good to have both point of views.
Yeah, that's true, to be fair.
But I'm kind of biased. I don't want to go to uni. Never appealed to me. So I want to say I couldn't care, but I would have done the exact same thing. Dropping out for me would have been really easy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Uni's not for me. I'm smart. I'm not the cleverest person. Let's just be honest.
You're pretty. Look at him.
Then why don't I have a girlfriend?
Because your standards are so fucking high.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for tuning into this week's episode, guys. I appreciate the listen. Don't know what next week's episode is going to be on yet. We'll find out.
Exactly.
But it will be good. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment on the views that you have towards this topic. I was going to say situation. They can tell you how they feel about you dropping out of uni. Drop your thoughts about what you think of this whole topic. It'd be nice to hear. And if you're on SoundCloud, give us a follow and check through the other 4 podcasts that I have on here. All informational. Not all of them are about fitness, but I haven't done a fitness one in a while, so we may need to get back on that. But thanks for listening, guys. Thank you for coming on, Toby.
It's
Tobyn.
okay. Jeez.
And
it was a far travel to get here. Had to walk downstairs from my room.
Well, you're the longest podcast so far.
I achieved something, Mum. That $8,000 was worth it.
Well.